Is on Thursday, and now it looks like Wednesday evening as well. EFF leader, in the meantime, Julius Malema, has said that there will be no State of the Nation address on Thursday unless a motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma is debated before that. With us now in studio is the EFF's national chairperson, Advocate Dali Mpofu. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much.
All right, so we've heard some significant developments that have taken place at Lutuli House this evening. The ANC's NWC has called for an urgent NEC meeting to happen on Wednesday. In the light of what's being discussed and what's happening and that goal stick of Thursday, what does this urgent NEC tell us?
Well, it tells us that finally they're listening and that they realize that we mean it when we're saying that this SONA should not happen with Zuma in place, and that it will not happen with Zuma in place. And there's they've put themselves under unnecessary pressure. We wrote them a letter in December already after the conference asking for this motion of no confidence. And the Speaker replied, I think, on the 19th of January. And we made it very clear again. We wrote another letter on the 30th saying that there is no way that this is going to happen the way that you think it's going to happen. And I think the penny has dropped now after the rejection by Zuma last night of the top six, that this is now the reality, the crunch. They had this meeting today, and of course the NEC, being the highest decision-making body, now has to sit on an emergency basis on the Wednesday. So what that means is probably that they realize the seriousness and the futility, really, of having Zuma addressing the State of the Nation, delivering the State of the Nation address. It's actually absurd. There's no South African who is sane upstairs who wants to listen to Zuma delivering a State of the Nation address when it's clear that he's going. The question is, when is he going to go? So what State of the Nation address is he going to make?
But he does have his supporters. There was hashtag hands off Jacob Zuma that marched to Lutuli House today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his supporters are reduced to the so-called BLF and its 20 supporters and something called the National Funeral Directors Association. Well, if that is what his support has been reduced to, he certainly doesn't have the support of the leadership of the ANC.
All right, so this next question is kind of linked to the motion that you want debated. The NEC is going to meet on Wednesday. What would you say are the balance of forces now post the December elective conference? Because before that, motion of no confidence failed 6 times, whatever it was. So what would you see as happening on Wednesday night that's different, if at all?
No, it's a completely different ball game. Remember that Gwede Mantashe, then Secretary General, in opposing the motion of no confidence in August, kept on saying everyone is making a mistake of comparing this situation to the Thabo Mbeki situation. This is completely different because Thabo Mbeki was just the president of the country and not the president of the ANC. Well, this is exactly the situation now, that Zuma is not the president of the ANC. So it should be much easier to remove him. Secondly, the fact that Zuma's ticket lost the conference in December means that even those people who might have been prevaricating and not sure, because really ANC people are driven by self-interest and their own stomachs. So even those kinds of cowardly people will find newfound boldness to act. Thirdly, the balance of forces within the NEC, you'll remember that after the conference it was said that it's almost 50-50. Well, again, driven by the politics of the stomach, these are the same people. If Ramaphosa takes over, let's say on Thursday, he has to appoint a new cabinet. So nobody is going to vote, for a president that is on his way to the grave and annoy one that is going to be in charge for the next 10 or to the next at least 10 months or so before the election, 10 to 15 months.
So your best guess is that the NEC is going to remove President Jacob Zuma on Wednesday night?
Yeah, well, the signs can only point to that, because if it was something else, then they could have had the meeting anytime.
So what does that mean for the EFF for the next 72 hours? Because you were going to speak to the Speaker and say, we want this debate before the SONA.
Yes, no, that's what we're saying. Our position is very simple. There will be no SONA by Zuma before the motion of no confidence. So either Baleka must schedule that motion of no confidence in the proper way that we've been asking for the past 4 or 5 weeks, or we will make it happen anyway. That's what's going to happen when we get there on Thursday. We will debate the motion of no confidence with or without her sanctioning, because we've asked time and time again. We've done everything. If need be, we will go to court to force her not to inflict Zuma on our people. I mean, Peter, just think of it. Cyril Ramaphosa has just been dilly-dallying on this issue. They are now going to have the third NEC meeting in the space of 4 weeks. Why are they putting themselves under pressure? Because he says, no, we don't want to humiliate Zuma. What? Zuma, who has humiliated 50 million of us over so many years, over Nkandla, state capture, all sorts of criminal activities. Now, we must nurse his feelings and make sure we don't humiliate him, and he must continue to humiliate this country. Right. No.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for coming and sharing your thoughts and insights with us. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.